Welcome to the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast, where we cover anything related to behavior change that will increase your long-term wellness and happiness. And now, here are your hosts, personal trainer and RNs, Matt and Jenna.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast. My name is Matt.
And I'm Jenna.
And today we have on somebody that just exudes passion for what he does, Mr. AJ the musician.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Al Williams, if you want to call him that. This podcast is all about implementing behavior change for your long-term wellness and happiness. Having said that, we've been hunting down just unbelievably passionate people just like the musician here, and it's just so cool to keep doing. I'm so grateful for all of you guys that are coming on, and we couldn't be more than thrilled for you to be here, man.
Man, I like I said earlier, man, I appreciate the invite. Especially seeing what you've built here, it's amazing. So just to be invited here is a big honor to me. So
appreciate you. Guys, if you can do this, if you feel it, if we are great at this podcast or if we are terrible at this podcast, let us know. Leave a review on iTunes. We would really appreciate you. It's the lifeblood of a podcast. At the top of every show, we hit you with our gratitude point. This gratitude point is something that shifts your perspective. It could be something major or something really small, just to sort of let you know that in your down times, it's really not that bad. And I'll go first. This gratitude point that I have is, go ahead. You about to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like you go first a lot.
Okay, well, you go first.
Well, you can go first. No.
If you're going to call me out, you go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think specifically today, I'm grateful for just reconnecting with people from our past.
She stole mine. Oh my God.
I think what's it been, 10 years at least?
Yeah.
Since we all worked at the hospital together.
It's been a minute. We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah. And it's just really cool to see as we mature, the different directions that we all go and pursuing our passions. I'm really happy for you and the direction that you've taken your life. And, it's just really cool to kind of reconnect after a decade and see really how people's lives have changed. Yeah.
Yeah. It's inspiring to watch you, for real.
Yep.
Man, it's inspiring to watch y'all. Think about it. 10 years ago, I remember when you guys first even became a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And to see 10 years later, a lot of relationships aren't lasting nowadays. Right. But you guys have not only become one, but you've built something on top of that. And to see that, that's a big inspiration for me, and I'm sure other people who are around you guys. You're setting an example.
Appreciate that.
You don't
That's
really
cool.
see
Yeah.
today's,
Yeah.
You just don't see it too often.
Well, I appreciate that. And that actually sort of segues perfectly into my gratitude point that this is going to sound cheap, like a easy layup, but I'm super grateful for the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast because it makes these conversations possible. I don't want to say that you and I, all three of us, would never have reconvened, but we've split off for a reason. We're living our own lives. You're just going in in different directions.
Definitely.
And there's obviously nothing wrong with that, but I'm just grateful for this podcast to have these conversations, to open doors for people's minds and for mine as well. I can't wait to dive in and figure out what makes you tick, what makes you do this. So I'm grateful for this podcast, for real.
Yeah, it's really a good excuse to get back together with people. And I know you kind of rekindle with somebody and you have this great conversation, and then a month later you're like, oh man, it was so great. I can't really remember what we talked about. Honestly, if no one ever watches this podcast or listens to it, at least we have these conversations documented.
Yeah, we're not doing this for y'all. We're doing it for us.
We're doing it for us.
Self-pleasure, man. Selfish.
Yeah, so she stole your gratitude point, but if you have another one or that one, either way.
I guess I could go off of that one though. I'm grateful for having friends that hold me accountable.
Ooh, yeah.
Like that.
That's a good one.
Friends that hold you accountable. Whether they, purposely mean to hold you accountable, or if it's just something that it just happens, you just see it in their actions. Because, you can read somebody's body language and see if if they're pleased with the way that you're acting, or you know, or if they're wanting you to, hey, maybe you should do a little bit better. Maybe you should go the extra mile, an extra step, even if it's something that's small. Having that circle around you, it benefits you a lot, and it's benefited me a lot as of lately. Because I record. I'm an engineer. That's.
Let me hit him. So if you guys want to know what he's about, this is a little bit of it.
Oh man, you already had it set up.
Chasing them waterfalls, you need a little tears. You was hungry for love, I served that like a BLT. But you said that would weigh you down, you trying to eat healthy.
So that was a song, Summertime. Beautiful song. But go ahead. That's just a little taste of AJ.
So yeah, right now I'm entrepreneur. I'm full time. I do music.
Okay.
When you're doing that, well, anything that you're doing full time, whether it's school or your job, anything, there's gonna be those days where you lack motivation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And that's where I've had a close circle of friends who've been around, who've been able to motivate me, even when they see those low moments. Like, hey, come on, man, put some pep in your step. We gotta get it going. And that's what I'm really grateful for. And even you guys, like I said, you said that I may motivate you from what you see me doing.
Yeah.
It's reciprocated that you guys motivate me.
Nice.
That's also a way that I feel you guys are holding me accountable and I'm holding you accountable. We've been
love
friends
it.
for 10 years. We don't have to speak every day.
Yeah.
But if I see you grinding and I see you building this, it makes me be like, I can't just sit back and do nothing.
Well,
I can't.
true.
I just can't sit on my butt and twiddle my thumbs and say, I wish I was pursuing my dreams. Like, no, I see my friends doing it. I need to be doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
You posted something the other day that was like, it was at the core of sort of how I was feeling. You just said, I need to go harder.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was a post, and I was like, oh my God, he was talking to straight up me right then, So yeah. Well, starting off, like, what is it? What is music to you? Like, we're gonna get deep here. Like, what is music?
Music is
Pull the mic a little bit closer to you.
Okay.
And grab the whole thing right here.
grab the whole thing.
Yeah, so it moves all the way.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Go ahead.
Okay.
So what,
music to me. Music is emotion in the form of sound. I guess that's the best way I could really capture that. It's just emotion. It's raw emotion. No matter what genre of music you're making, right? Somebody was trying to express something, whether you say Beethoven or Snoop Dogg. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
completely different ends of the spectrum, right? But there was emotion that made Beethoven write this symphony, or made Snoop Dogg make a rap, or make Bruno Mars sing a pop song, whatever.
Right.
There was emotion behind it, raw emotion. And I think that's what music is. I mean, you have some music that's not emotion at all. I don't listen to that music.
Sure.
But it has its place too.
Right.
But that's what it is to me personally. I like to understand people through music. Even if they don't do music, you have a favorite playlist. You have certain songs that you love.
true.
You have certain songs that you love. I like to listen to everybody's favorite song, because your favorite song really probably tells a lot about you.
That's true.
Interesting. What
very
a
true.
beautiful definition. I have never thought of it that way. I've never heard it that way. Beautifully put.
Thank you.
Awesome. No, how did you start in music? Because for as long as I've known you, you've been into music. I remember you were singing 10 years ago, and like, I remember the first time I heard you sing, it struck me in the chest. Like, it's impressive. Like, you were made to sing and to create like this.
Thank you. What made me start doing music, my dad and my mom, they both did music when they were younger. They grew up in a small town outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay.
And when they connected, I think my mom was singing in choir, my dad played trumpet, and he sang as well. And I just naturally just grew up around music. And my parents always made sure that while I was growing up, I did one of two things: play a sport. You're going to play a sport this year, or you're going to play an instrument this year. So I would switch between. Sometimes I was playing football. Next, I might be trying to learn some guitar lessons the next year. And then as I got older, I started choosing for myself what I wanted to do. I still played a little bit of football in high school, but once I really started finding my love for music, I was just full time in. I started playing in orchestra and jazz band and chorus. Anything that was music related, I dove into because that's where I found my passion. I was able to express myself.
So you're really well rounded in music then.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, and who you are, your style is like. Do you think you fall more in line with R&B or rap, or what is it?
Man, I honestly don't even know what to,
I know, right?
What to call it. It's just like whatever I feel like, cause I listen to so many different artists. Like,
Yeah, I like that.
I couldn't.
That you're not in just.
I couldn't
You don't just fit in one box.
Yeah, I couldn't quite put my finger on what it is. You know, the song that we just played, "Summertime," it had its own vibe to it, but not every song has that same vibe.
yeah, it doesn't.
Which is, to me, that just shows like how versatile and how creative and how good of an artist one is. You know,
Thank you.
to not have the same sound.
Yeah, and that's literally goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, just the emotion. It goes off my emotion. If I'm whatever mode I'm in at that time, whatever's going on, that's the type of music
Okay.
that I make. So that's why you'll have the different styles, because it's just that's how I'm feeling on the inside. Whatever I'm talking about, that's what I honestly feel at that time, and that's the emotion that it draws out of me.
Okay.
Well, I think it's more relatable too when you put your emotion into it. I think more people can really feel that and relate to it better than just some random, assembly of words and music.
Yeah, I strongly dislike music that does not have any sense of direction or purpose.
Okay.
Because it takes away from the artists or the musicians who actually have that emotion. It becomes oversaturated. There's so much music right now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So much music. Some of it is actual good music that's gonna, make you feel something emotionally, make you feel something mentally, make you think outside of the box. But some of it is just like, it's just here for space.
Garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Right? Garbage. But if enough people just hear nothing but garbage, then by the time that they actually do run across something that can change them or something that can connect to them, they don't even want to hear it because they've just heard so much garbage before it even gets to this that they're automatically like, yeah, I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not trying to hear it.
That's
I just
true.
heard 10 people before you.
So do you think like the Western culture, like the U.S. area, do you think we're dumbed down when it comes to music taste, music theory? I'm not even using the right words, but like, I feel like our baseline of pop or what's on the radio and whatnot, do you think that's like dumbed down as compared to back in the day when it was much more difficult to make music? It was more expensive to make music. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like the production wasn't as accessible.
You feel like we're dumbed down at all?
Yes, I feel like we are dumbed down to a degree. I feel like we've also excelled in a degree, but as far as just overall, yes, it's been dumbed down because it's so easily accessible.
Okay.
It used to be, hey, I have to have thousands of dollars to go record my one hit single that's going to be on an album, and that I'm only going to push this one song on this one album, on this one record, and I'm just going to push it and put thousands, if not even, somewhere close to millions of dollars behind this one thing because I need to travel.
Okay.
So all of these things start costing.
I was just wondering.
I got to travel. I got to go to each state to state. But now I can buy just some cheap pieces of equipment, get a mic, record it, and regardless of the quality, it no longer has to be professional nowadays. I hear it. It's sad, but I can drop it and put it to the whole world right then. But that's also a positive thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's also a positive. That's where it's excelled because now I can be heard in New York without.
So you think it levels the playing field?
Yeah,
Okay.
it levels the playing field definitely. But yeah, as far as a whole, it's done. Back in the day, man, you couldn't survive if you couldn't make real music to connect with people emotionally or mentally in some way, shape, or form. But nowadays, I mean, you can get up and you could probably make a song about your breakfast that you just made today.
It's true.
You could possibly just make a hit single.
It's true. I mean, you see people on YouTube that are joking around all the time and how they'll really quickly in a free software make fun of like a Lil Yachty or a Lil Baby song or something like that. It's quite comical how quickly you can make a song.
And make money.
That's what's sickening.
That quick
Yeah.
and have a whole career off of a joke.
Yeah.
A whole career off of a joke. When somebody might be
Does that piss you off?
sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, man. I can't even lie. It's just the passion. It's just the passion of it. I guess to me it will probably be equivalent to you. I see you. You're always working out. You're always giving motivational speeches about fitness and health above everything, right?
Sure.
So then just imagine if some guy just came in and started trying to do the same thing you did, but you knew that he was eating unhealthy and cutting corners and taking steroids, just everything that goes against what you preach about or what you give to your audience. A guy that acts like he portrays that he wants to deliver the same message as you, but he's not even living that. Right. It's just like a false prophet almost.
Absolutely.
That's how I look at some people who make music and they're like, oh, this is what I love to do. But yeah, you just made like a joke and you became a famous artist, and you keep making jokes. You didn't even like transition to something else and just use it as a door opener. You just keep doing the same thing because it makes you money. So do you really love it, or do you just love the money? Such
a lack of respect.
Yeah, it is. It's a lack of respect, man.
Yeah, like I think it's would be frustrating from your standpoint. Yeah, everything's more accessible to be able to produce, so you don't necessarily need to be discovered by someone to have all this opened up to you as far as like studios and producing and all that, but it's all open to all these other people who are just producing crap just to try to make a dollar and not really passionate about it. I think that'd be very frustrating.
Everybody can get into the party now.
Yeah.
Everybody gets in.
Well, and speaking about, like respecting the game and, these false prophets, like what do you want? What do you want your emotion, your music, what do you want it to do? Like, how high do you want it to reach? Or, like some people, it's just a hobby. Some people, I just do it for the fun of it. What are your aspirations with it? And then also, like, if you died tomorrow, what would you want to be remembered for with your music? I'm digging deep on you.
Yes, you are.
Because I know it's in there. I know it's in there in you.
Man, like, honestly, and this project that I'm working on more so than ever, I'm about to release a CD soon. It'll probably be finished by the end of this month.
Okay.
Wow.
But my music is literally it's me. I don't usually do too many interviews like this. I love this.
Awesome.
But I love this, but I honestly don't do this often. I don't ever have anybody who picks my brain to see like, okay, well, like you said, what makes this tick? What makes this tick? How does this work, right? So even in my everyday, I'm so busy that I don't even get a chance to have these type of conversations.
Sure.
What makes me move, how I feel about music, things like that. But it's in my music. So even if someone never knew me ever at all, you could listen to my CD and you can clearly understand who I am.
Damn.
How I carry myself, my thoughts on certain views in life. That's me. So to answer the second question first, if I were to die anytime soon, or even when I die, I would really just want my music to motivate others to be as organic and realistic in their music. It's in today's era that doesn't happen too much anymore.
Okay.
It's whatever's trending, whatever makes everybody else happy. I have to dress a certain way because that's what everybody's doing. I have to sing a certain way because that's what everybody's doing. I have to sing about or rap about a subject that everybody else is talking about because that's what's going to make me money. But that's not what I do.
Yeah.
And, thank God I have a support system around me. I have a fan base that's been continuously growing while I'm doing that. So I really want to get to a point where I can show others that you can go against the grain. It's okay to go against the grain. It might be harder because I believe, no doubt, if I were to conform and make music that the rest of the world is doing right now, oh yeah, man, I could have probably been making. I don't even. I've had opportunities. I definitely have.
To make crap to make money?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yes.
but then you lose yourself.
Yeah, and I actually to be honest, I almost took the opportunity one time. I was living in Atlanta, and I met 2 A&Rs, man, and they had told me
A&Rs.
Yeah, they're the artist representatives.
Okay.
So they find you. If you're an artist and say you were performing at a club one night, right? A record label will send out A&Rs to just go to this club and say, hey, find some talent.
They put you on. Got it.
Yeah, they'll put you on. They'll find you and say, hey, you fit perfectly for this record label or this whatever opportunity, this music production. We need you.
That makes sense.
That's how the connections happen. You can search for an A&R yourself, but they also go out scouting. But I had an A&R, man. Two of them. One of them didn't ask me to go that route because he just knew from conversation with me, like, yeah, he'd probably never do this. Like, nah. But I had another one who was like, yeah, I got an opportunity for you. And at the time I had I needed some money. I was low on cash. And I'll never forget, man. I was making a song for somebody and it was horrible. Like everything about it. Like the direction they wanted me to take it was talking about something I don't talk about. That's not me. But yeah, I could make the song. I could definitely make the song and it'd still be a good song, but it just didn't sit right with me. It didn't sit right with me so bad to the point that even after I finished the song, it was hard for me to sleep.
Whoa.
Wow.
And that was the first time that anything had really like bothered me, like to that point. And even though I needed the money, I went back to him. I want to say it was like a couple days later, maybe 3 days at tops. And I was just like, hey man, look, I finished the song, but to be honest with you, it doesn't sit right with me. I don't think I'm the person for it. He never heard the song or anything. He never heard it. I thought I was making the wrong decision at the time.
Of course.
Because I still needed money.
Of course.
But it was crazy because it was like as soon as that door closed, another one opened. I ended up getting some money from doing something positive. You know what I mean? From doing something that I wanted to do. And then from that point on, man, like it was a wake-up call to me. Like, hey, you almost
sold out.
That quick. You almost sold out. Yeah, you were in a tough situation, but just stay strong. You know, stay strong and have enough faith in yourself, in your own craft. You know, instead of giving up, just saying, man, it got me. You know, sometimes you need to push just a little bit more because you could have been right there.
Right.
You could have been right there, right when you gave up.
Right.
If you would have pushed just a little bit more,
Yep.
everything that you needed would have came through. And that ended up happening, but I wasn't in the mindset. It just happened to happen. It didn't sit right with me, so I stopped. But I was honestly at a weak moment. But never again. Yeah, never again.
That's why I wanted you on this.
Yeah, that's a really important lesson.
That is so difficult. I think for so many people that's so difficult. So I commend you. Especially when dollars are staring you in the face. That's tough.
Man, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, in success, you couldn't really enjoy that success if you can't sleep at night.
Nah.
That's not worth it.
That takes a lot of self-awareness though.
Yeah.
I mean, you, the listener, you've heard the story so many times where like you quote unquote make it and then you can't look at yourself in the mirror because of the way you had to get there. So like, it's beautiful to see you not put yourself in that predicament. And like there's zero piece of me that thinks you won't make it. Like I know with every fiber in me, I know that there will be a day where people are going to be looking for this episode because it is you and where you're going to be.
And we're
like
here.
I know that. And just to think about the progression you've made since, I last really knew you, like you've grown so much mentally, Jesus Christ, physically. We got to talk about that, right?
For real, yeah.
Right? We haven't even gotten into
There's
that.
some people who don't even realize that. Like,
I know.
They see me now and I'm like, yo, if you would have saw me like 10 years ago,
right?
Like, I was completely different. Like
you changed so much. Like what do you? Is it one thing? Has it been numerous things that's changed you? Like, and I think some people could just cheapen it and say, well, you just became an adult. But I think that's bullshit because you can become an adult and not be an adult and not be a good adult. You know what I'm saying?
You're 100% right, man. That would be bullshit.
Right. Like, how did you develop to be who you are now?
Man,
Deep.
That's
This is
a
deep.
loaded
This is
question.
I mean,
but-
because I know it's in there.
Man, to be completely honest with you, what made me change is I felt like I was honestly going through insanity. And I say insanity from the term of trying the same thing over and over and expecting
A different outcome.
a different outcome. I was literally living the embodiment of that. I was living that. I was hanging around certain people that weren't going anywhere in life.
Okay.
You know, I still love those people to death, but I couldn't separate loving someone from a distance, you know, and still being able to love them. I was looking at it. I used to look at it from the standpoint of, oh, if I love you, I have to be around you all the time.
That's tough.
I have to be around you. Your decisions and my decisions have to be intertwined, things like that. And that's even for friendships. This is friendships, relationships, things of that nature. And then I had to realize that, man, not everybody is meant to go where I go.
There you go.
They're just not. And it's not saying that they'd ever be left behind or that I forget about them or that I don't love them any more or any less. It's just that in order for me to excel, I had to separate.
It's a really important realization.
Yeah, and it was deep because I didn't know what was wrong with me. Like,
Wow.
That's literally what it came to. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I'm like, man, I'm doing everything that I feel like is right.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for so long, but it can't be right because
Right.
I'm not seeing any type of traction.
Yeah.
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 I'm not seeing anything. I'm running and I'm in the same spot. Why is that?
Okay.
So I had to look at myself for once. And when I finally looked at myself and I held myself accountable for things that I did, things just started changing, man. Everything's like, that's what made me, I had to be like, you know what? Look in the mirror. Like, am I happy with the way that I look and happy with the way that I feel?
Mm-hmm.
That's what made me start losing weight.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
'Cause I wasn't 100% happy with myself. So if I couldn't be 100% happy with myself, how could I expect anybody else to be happy for me or bring me happiness? I have to bring my own happiness before anyone else.
That's incredible. That's a really important point.
Really is.
Yeah. And that's what drove it, man. That's what started the change. I had to really I was at a really dark place, but the dark place didn't make me I didn't dwell in it. I didn't dwell in that darkness.
That's a big point.
I got to that low point and I said, hey, look, I'm at the lowest point, but on the bright side, you can only go up from your lowest point. You can't go any deeper.
Very true.
You're there. You're there. You're at the bottom. Don't dwell here. It's not going to get any worse. You can only get better, so you might as well start climbing.
So you took the high road of being positive. It sounds like you took the road of having a lot of self-awareness to realize your situation. It sounds like you took responsibility, and then you also had the ability to say, like, because of who I'm surrounded by, I know it's my responsibility for me to excel in whatever it is, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever it is, success. I got to separate myself from these people. Like, that's so huge.
And I want to make a point. This is a recurring theme
it is.
in these conversations
It
that
really
we're having.
is.
And we did not have this conversation ahead of time,
No,
nor
we
do
didn't.
we with anybody else.
No.
This is
But
gold.
it is when you're at your lowest low, rather than blaming external forces, it takes some introspection and then just climbing the ladder yourself and putting that responsibility on yourself. And that's the only way you get out of that dark hole.
Yeah. That is literally the only way. And it's not an easy process, you know, to
Yeah.
anybody listening. It's not an easy process, but
Yeah.
I feel like everyone in life is going to go through that, and it's going to be bigger to some or smaller to others. I mean, what's my lowest point may not be your lowest point.
Sure.
Right.
Right? Some people may look at someone's lowest point and be like, "What? Like what? No, that's nothing. I've been homeless. That
Okay.
at least you
Sure.
still had an apartment, you know, things like
Yeah.
that. You can show each other scars and say who's been through the worst thing, but mentally, what is the magnitude that you put on yourself or your failures? When you fail, do you harp on it? Is it something that you can just say, you know what, I failed, but I can get back up again. I can get back up again. That's a real mental challenge that some people can't do. When they fail, they go, oh man, I can't do this again. I don't like the feeling of failure. Failure scares me. This just made me feel so small. I don't ever want to feel this small again. I'm not trying again.
Yep.
And when they don't try again, that's when you lose.
Yeah.
That's the only way that you lose.
Yeah,
is when you stop trying.
That's the defining point between success and stagnancy is just getting up again.
Get up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I love this podcast.
So do I, man.
So tell me, let's talk about the point blank fitness, because what we just talked about right all then was like the mental aspect, the success aspect. Your physical fitness has changed so much, because when we knew you 10 years ago, I mean, you were a big boy.
Yeah, I weighed.
You're still. How tall are you though? First of all,
I'm 6'3".
Jesus Christ! And how big were you? How much do you weigh?
Now, well, I'll tell you. Back then, at my biggest, I weighed 320.
Okay.
Now I'm 267.
Wow.
Yeah. I weighed 320 at my biggest, and now I'm 267.
You look good.
You do. You
Thank
look
you.
fantastic.
Thank
Seriously.
you. Thank you.
Like,
Yeah, man. It's a whole lifestyle change.
I bet it feels good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go back for a thing, man. Like, everything's better. When I started actually, and I've seen it. I've seen you talk about it. Just, what you're putting in your body, what you're fueling yourself with.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Once I started actually thinking about being conscious about what I'm eating and how it makes me feel after I eat it, even when I didn't necessarily have knowledge,
right,
about the types of food I was eating, I would just start listening to my body and say, how do I feel after I eat this? Do I feel sluggish? Do I get energy? Do I feel good? Do I feel sad? Like, that's a real thing that happens now.
Yeah.
Like,
yep,
there's some times where, like, I might have like a little cheat meal and I'll eat it and I'll be like, oh man, I don't like the way I feel from this.
Right.
Like, I feel like weighed down, not even just physically, but even mentally. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to eat this. This is definitely just a cheat meal. Like, this is nothing I'd eat consistent.
You're very, very self-aware. You're very self-aware. You've built that. So for you, the turning point was the nutrition.
Yeah.
So you feel like, just to recap, it was sort of a point where you're like, you started noticing how you were feeling when you were eating a certain way. So you started changing it. How did you change your nutrition? Was it all at once? Did you do some sort of diet?
Yeah, it was all at once. I'm a very drastic person.
I believe that there are two different types of people. I believe there's people like you that make those hard switches.
Yeah, I think you're both like that.
I believe there are certain people that can make the hard switch, and then certain people that have to make incremental changes.
And that's me to a T.
And you just said you think I'm that drastic person. I think I sort of weigh in the middle sometimes, but this is about you. It's not about me. Sorry. But that's interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm definitely drastic. I'm one of those people, when I like something, I go all in, and I'll do it every day if I like it. I could eat the same thing every day and never get tired of it.
And you do. What is that?
City
I see you
bowls.
put City Bowl.
Yeah,
so
City Bowls. I love it. I love it.
I still haven't had it. Have you seen
Man,
his
gotta
IG
eat
posts?
it,
He
man.
has.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of posts. We need to try it.
It is so good.
It's called City Bowl.
City Bowls. Yeah. What it is, it's like it's a smoothie at like the base of a bowl.
Okay.
You have the Asia blend.
The berry. Yeah.
The berry. They also have another base that's like I forgot. It's like pitaya.
Papaya?
No, pitaya.
Pitaya.
Yeah,
See, you got more knowledge than I do.
It's a dragon fruit. It's a type of dragon fruit.
Oh, okay.
That's the base, and then the other one is a veggie base, kale and some, I forgot what all is in it. That's good too. I love them all. But anyway, and then they put that smoothie base, and they put they have different options. Like, they have a regular granola, they have gluten-free granola, and then they put the fruits of your choosing on top of that. Nice. And it's like, it's amazing. I don't know how they came up with it. I don't know who. It's great. It's great though.
Is that like national, or is that local, or what is that? I don't know.
It's local.
Okay.
It's local. A guy owns it. It's like a family-owned.
That's rad.
Family-owned thing, but it's a food truck, so it moves around.
Oh God, we got to do a video on that.
That's the
We
thing.
got to do a video on that.
Yeah, it moves around. I love them.
That's rad.
Yeah, they know me up there. I have my own bowl. If you go up there and just say I want the AJ.
Really?
Like, yeah, seriously.
We're gonna have to do that.
Seriously.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do that.
Yeah, I love them, man. They're really nice people too.
Awesome. Yeah, we're gonna have to dive into that. All right. So the nutrition piece was big. The physical piece, because I literally just saw an IG post of yours yesterday, of you at the gym, and like you go pretty hard. You go pretty hard in there.
Man, I try. And you know what? The thing that made the physical right after the nutritional, right? Things started getting a little easier for me. When I was at my heaviest, I remember I couldn't even do 10 push-ups, man. I couldn't.
Okay.
I might at best give you 5. But
Okay.
I couldn't even do 10 push-ups. And I joked about it, right? Like in a room full of people, you might joke about it. I could laugh it off. Haha, I can't do 10 push-ups.
Okay.
But deep down inside, I was like, damn, I can't do 10 push-ups. Like, what
Sure.
kind of craziness is this? Never saying it out loud, but it was just something I started, thinking within myself. And I'm like, all right, well, once the nutrition kicked in and I'm like, all right, let me get active. Let me go to the gym. And I started doing things that I never could do before.
Okay.
One of my buddies in the gym, he had told me, he was like, look, man, let's get you to do a pull-up. I was like, yeah, there's no way in hell I'm gonna ever do a pull-up. And at first, I was coming in, I could never do a pull-up. He was like, well, look, you're gonna try every day.
Nice.
Every day. Activate those muscles. You're eventually gonna get a pull-up. I'll be damned. One day I just came in and it was crazy because everybody was in the gym around me. And when I did it, I just kind of stayed up there for a second. I was like, yes.
That's so
I
rad.
did a pull-up.
That's awesome.
I've never been able to do it in my life, and now I'm doing it. So now that's why I go hard in the gym. Like, I don't even believe I can't.
Nice.
It's just a when will I. It's not I can't. It's when will I.
Oh my God.
That's how I honestly feel. Like, if you saw my Instagram post, I was trying to do a handstand push-up.
I saw that.
I failed.
I saw that.
But I posted it just because
Yes.
a few months down the road, when I post another video and I'm doing one,
Yep.
it's just
Yeah.
gonna remind me, like,
Yeah.
once again,
You're a smart man.
yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Smart man. A smart man. Well, I got one more. This is
Okay.
another kicker. What is your definition of happiness?
Whoo, man, you've been hitting me with some heavy ones, but I love it. I
Yes.
love it because I've never asked these questions.
I feel that there's no right or wrong answer. I think that everybody's definition is different, but AJ the musician, Al Williams, what is his definition?
Happiness to me is mental peace, just complete peace of mind. Because anything else really doesn't matter. You go after your dreams, your goals, right? But what happens when you get them? Do you get them and then you're just not satisfied anymore? Do you get them and you want to go even further and just make a new dream, another goal? Or do you say, hey, I actually did what I said I wanted to do, and now I'm at peace. Anything that comes from this point is fine. Whether it is you progress to a whole nother level or whether you just stay at the same level. But are you secure enough within your mind to say, this is what you want to do, you did it, this is your time, you're at peace? Because you have so many people who they have that feeling that it's confused. They think that peace isn't happiness or that it doesn't play a part in happiness. That's my definition, but I know that it definitely plays a part in anybody's definition.
Right.
Peace, your mental peace is got to be it has to be a factor at least.
Yeah.
Right. So I never wanted to be one of those people who said, hey, I'm going to get a car, right? Get a car and then say, man, you know what? I should have got a better car and get a better car. But by the time I get that better car, there's another better version of that car.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're endlessly just chasing goals and you may be knocking them out. Good for you.
Right.
But your mind isn't stable because you're never really happy with what you're getting if you're basing it off of either someone else or society so it's just the peace.
Yeah.
Just peace itself is happiness to me. Whatever it is, peace with your loved ones, peace in relationships. Relationships run a lot smoother when there's no problems with communication. People are on the same plane. That's peace. That is peace. People are going to argue, people are going to have disagreements, but when there's peace involved between two people, it can be done without any type of bickering, name calling, or any type of disrespectfulness. You just speak on it. Okay, hey, we know what we need to do. Let's go.
Do it. Yeah.
And you just do it. That's peace, though.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, it's scary. I look at like the younger generation, or just social media. This social media generation, they don't know much about mental peace.
And we don't know the long-term effects of what the social media will mean, the immediate gratification, the likes, all that.
Yeah, it's very external.
Yeah.
It's very little internal.
Yeah.
I like your definition of happiness for you as external factors. It's not dependent on the car. It's not dependent on somebody else. It's you.
Yep.
Because that's the only thing that you can control. It's internal.
That's the only
like
thing
that.
I can control.
Do you think that you could have peace without music? I'm talking about you. Nobody
Me?
else. Could you have peace without music?
No, I don't think I can have peace without music, but I can make music out of anything.
Oh God.
So
what an answer.
I have peace with me no matter where I go. And when I was younger, my mom used to always tell me, she used to hate, man. She used to hate so much whenever like a talent show or something would pop up in school, because she would watch my grades just fall off.
Okay.
Like if something was going on in school that was like musical, like I was just like, yep, that's all that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Or like, but on the plus side, if there was anything like a project in school that required music, I was gonna ace that. I was gonna put all my time. I was gonna put all my effort. So even when I was young, and I didn't realize it subconsciously, anytime that I felt bad, anytime that I felt discouraged, it all came back to music, man. Even if I was, just making little songs up in my head, that's what gave me mental peace. So now that I'm aware of that,
Wow.
now I don't even base my success off it. Like, yeah, man, don't get me wrong. I wanna be. I want to be in the industry. I want to be big. I do, and that's what I'm striving for. But if I shoot for the moon and I land on the stars, I'm perfectly fine. I am perfectly fine. Like I'm not gonna let this define me, even if I don't get to that level, because I already have peace within myself. Like right now, I make money doing what I love, and that's recording. I love making music. So right now I record other people and make music for other people, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I quit my job about a year ago. I was recording people out of my apartment.
Okay.
And I was working a job as a life insurance agent. And I was making good money. Yeah. But it was hectic hours. There were never really set hours. And that job, if you wanted to excel, you have to lie to people a lot.
Oh.
And that never sat right with me.
Nah.
Even back when we worked in the hospital, we worked in transport, we were people. We are people person. I'm a people person. I like talking with people. I like helping people.
Right.
But, having that type of job, when you help people, you give them too much information. Companies start looking at it like, hey. You're telling them a little bit too much. They don't need to know all of this. That's corporations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business. They don't want everybody to know every single in and out, because then how are they going to make money?
Of course.
So it didn't sit right with me. But I was also making money recording people when I'd get off work. I'd work all day, get off work, and I'd probably record just some people that I just knew in my circle, friends. And I didn't do it for money. I just recorded them.
Okay.
And I was getting better and better.
Yeah.
And then they referred me to other people. And then those people started coming there like, hey, I'll pay you. And I was like, okay, I can get some money from this.
Okay.
And then I just kept doing it. And then I started getting a large income from it that was actually comparable to what I was making already.
That's
so,
awesome.
yeah, I started calling out of work and recording people. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna leap of faith. I looked myself in the mirror and I said, just like you said, you see how hard I've been going at music.
Yeah.
But I still had to reflect on myself and say, look, I got to do something, right? It was another wake up. That was the most recent wake up call I had for myself. It was probably about a year ago. I was like, if you're really serious about this, you have to take this chance. You have to. There's nothing else. Like if you don't, you're bullshitting yourself, and you probably really don't want this. If at this point in your life, if you see all the signs that you should make this jump and you still don't do it, you probably really don't want to.
you jumped out of the airplane and made the parachute on the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, that's a crazy analogy, but yeah, that's exactly what happened.
That
I like
takes
that.
takes a lot of guts, though.
It was scary, man.
I bet.
Oh, it was scary. It was scary, but I'm so glad. The only regret that I have is that I didn't do it earlier. That's literally my only regret. If anybody would have asked me my regret,
That was going to be one of my questions.
Yeah,
I
you answered
promise
it.
you that was it. That
Just starting earlier.
I just didn't do it earlier because I was able to tap into my full potential once I cut off the other distractions. Because that job was a distraction. It's not something that I loved. You know, I was doing it just to get money. I was conforming to society. Like, hey,
Yeah.
keep working.
What some people would say to that is, well, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know how to do it. What would you say to that? Like,
I would say, so yeah, even though I did jump out of the plane, no parachute, and I made that parachute, I still had to do research, right? I still had to take the initiative to find out what needs to be done. You know, yes, there is the negative that this is the internet generation, this is the viral generation, but there's also one positive, man. Anything that I want to know how to do, I can just pull out my phone and go on Google. Literally anything I want to do. You have people who from learning how to cook to making a bomb, I could probably find it. You know, like it's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
true.
You
Yeah,
can
that's
find
true.
it all out on the internet. So to anyone who says that they don't know what to do, I've been there, but also you need to utilize your resources.
it's not an excuse.
Yeah, it's not an excuse. It's not. And I've used that excuse.
Yeah.
So that's how I can honestly say there's no excuse, because I used to use that excuse for the longest until I told you I just had to wake up within myself and say, look, you need to do this. Whatever needs to be done, you need to do it. You need to study. You need to lose some sleep.
Yes.
You need to put in a little bit longer hours, but you need to do this. And I'll be damned, man. A year later, I've made enough money to, I signed off on a building. I'm building a studio. It's almost done.
Where's it going to be at? Plug it.
That's going to be off of 9th Avenue in La Vista, and it's called the Musicians Room.
And the point of this is for...
Yeah, this is, I really wanted to open a studio for artists, rappers, singers, instrumentalists, whoever, to be able to come and get the vibe that I bring
Okay.
to the music industry.
Okay.
One thing, I've been in a lot of big studios. I've traveled. I've been in a lot of big studios. A lot of people, man, like I said, they're divas.
Okay.
There's not a very welcoming atmosphere when it comes to business and music.
Okay.
It's not. I'm pretty sure there is when you're a big name artist.
Of course.
Of course. There's gonna be that. This is Beyonce.
Right.
This is Luke Bryan. This is so they're gonna treat those people with respect, but nobody really treats the person with respect who's like, oh, who was Beyonce before Beyonce? Who was John Mayer before John Mayer became John Mayer?
Before they made it.
Yeah, before they made it. But they were still the same person. They just didn't have the credentials
Right.
Yeah.
below their belt. But same exact individual, same exact mind, same everything. So I'm trying to change the way that music and the business is done. I want to treat everybody with respect, man, and give everybody the inside on how to do things. Like, example, you set up all of this area. You said one of your good friends helped you out, right?
Travis Patterson, shout out to you, brother.
Travis Patterson. Ooh,
Y'all gotta talk.
I need to talk to you soon. But you have some people out there who literally would never tell you this. They would see what
true.
you're trying to do and just say, hey, yeah, it's great. And just walk out and be like, hey, you're doing a good job. But in the back of their mind, they know, hey, man, if I would have just told them A, B, and C, they could have went just out into the out of the atmosphere with this, right? But I don't want them to be bigger than me.
That sucks.
So I'm not going to tell them everything. And that's what I hate. And I've had that happen to me. And that's why it took so long. I feel like everything is meant to happen for a reason.
Yep.
That's why at this point in my life, I look back and everything that I know now, if I would have known it when I was younger, I would have been able to apply it when I was younger. And it would have just made my success even greater. So I want to stop that cycle.
Okay.
I want to stop that.
Nice.
there's a lot of people around me who don't know the business side of music, don't know anything about how to work, social media. They don't know how to get gigs. They don't know how getting paid. I want to teach. I want to teach those people, or teaching people how to record, even mic awareness. Even something as simple as that. Like, some people don't know how to record. They're not even recording right. Right. But they're spending money because somebody is just being like a quote unquote bad mechanic.
Okay.
Just, hey, I'll let you spend your money with me. I'll never tell you what you're doing wrong. I'll never tell you. I'll never try to help you. Just keep giving me money. I want to stop that. I want my studio to be somewhere where when you go as an artist, you won't just make music. You'll develop.
Okay.
You'll grow.
And you said that's going to be open when?
It should be done by the end of this month, along with my CD at the same time. I've been doing a lot.
So at the end of October, which this episode is going to be released real close around there. So at the end of October. So do this. Plug all your social media info. And guys, by the way, in the YouTube description of this video and in the audio version, if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, all those different platforms you kids use, all of his information is going to be here, so you'll be able to get in contact with him. But go ahead and plug it now.
So Facebook, AJ the Musician, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, AJ_ the Musician. You can find me at all those social media outlets. I'm trying to think, is there any more outlets? Facebook.
You have a website?
I do. AJthemusician.com. Hey.
Well, Jenna, you got anything else for him? I feel like this has just been, like, we've hit so many different areas in such a short amount of time.
I like to, kind of condense things at the end of an episode, and really, I'm not really sure what to really pinpoint as the most important parts. I think really staying true to yourself. Yeah. Being open to help other people, concentrating on being able to lay your head down on your pillow at night and get some, and really to be able to sleep. Yeah. With your actions during the day. I think that's really important. I like it. And I think pursuing your passion, I think success, and I know we've said this before, success should be a byproduct of pursuing your passion. I think that's what true success really is. Long-lasting success, where you can maintain that peace of mind, is really pursuing your passion.
Wholeheartedly.
Ooh. This has been a big one. This has been a big one. Guys, show some love to AJ the musician. My gosh. Woo-woo. This has been a beautiful conversation, man. I really, really, really appreciate you being on, for real.
Man, I appreciate you guys for inviting me, man. This is a long overdue conversation.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like, it's crazy.
Heck yeah, man. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're loving him, go check his music out, because where can they buy your music?
It's available on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud.
You're all over the place.
Yeah. Summertime is on iHeartRadio.
Okay.
I'm trying to think wherever else you can. Deezer. It's a little bit of everywhere.
Okay.
Like it's pretty much everywhere. Yeah, and YouTube, of course. Yeah.
And is it AJ the Musician?
Yeah.
Okay.
AJ the Musician, Summertime. That's a song that I just released. I'm actually about to release another song too.
Nice.
It's gonna be crazy.
Nice.
But yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, show him some love. Go check it out. And God, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Unless y'all got anything else to say, we can close it out.
Yeah, I don't know that my mind can handle any more of these.
Wait. What made you start doing this?
That's a golden question.
That's a really good question. Yeah. So, before we close it out, I started as a nurse. I was working. Mm-hmm. We worked in transport at a hospital, and patient transport, taking people to and from X-rays, stuff like that. And then the goal was just become an ICU nurse. And it took so long to get into school, so long to get through school. I never really saw it as actually happening. It was just going through the motions, and it finally happened. And then right when I got to it, it was like the peak. I was a very highly trained ICU nurse. Like, this is it. I got all my knowledge. I'm going to change the world. And 80% of the people I saw, it was all self-induced things. They were all on ventilators and life support and drugs and all these things by their own doing. And, the 20% of people, it was like trauma and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But 80% of these people was all self-induced. And I was just looking around like, am I helping or am I hurting this system? And I was sick over it. And I became a personal trainer, and fitness has just always been a part of my life. And that's what changed me as a person. I grew up in the gym. I became a man in the gym. I pushed my limits in the gym mentally, physically. It just poured over into every aspect of my life. It made me think differently. And when I realized I can do more as a personal trainer to affect the world than I can as a registered nurse in an ICU setting with cutting edge technology, I can do more as a personal trainer with these conversations, with the content I put out. That's when I said, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. That's why.
That was like, I don't even know what to say to that response, man. That was big.
Yeah.
That was big.
And it was just beautiful that Jenna was like-minded, and she had her own fitness journey and grew herself. And
I've been stubborn and resistant the entire journey.
Well, you both look great.
But
Thanks,
thank
man.
you. Yeah, Matt's dragged me along behind him, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was why. I don't know if I've fully explained it on the podcast. I've said it in the videos and whatnot.
Yeah, and I think another thing, like, we tend to have these like really heavy, like, pivotal conversations, and we said it so many times, like, we should have been recording that so we can go back and listen to it later.
And this is one.
And I know that I kind of joked about it at the beginning, like, but literally, if nobody listens or watches this,
We're gonna have
this is golden for us
Seriously.
to have
Yeah,
forever.
Definitely, man.
Seriously.
This is something we could always reflect on. And then something you can go back to because look, we're going to keep progressing. Look, I know this is right here. Yeah. I know that this is going to be bigger. I know this is going to get just as sure as you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a 0% chance of you not making it when you look at me, bro. I'm telling you, this is only going to get bigger. Yeah. So this will be something when we have another interview.
There you go.
Yeah.
We can look back at this one and say, hey, look, you remember how this all started?
Yeah, remember when?
Look at the progression.
Yeah. Man, it's going to be beautiful because we've seen progression just, in our 10 years.
Yeah.
We were doing things completely different.
Yeah.
We were living lives completely different.
Yeah.
And now 10 years later, we're walking into, the path. We're aligning with our path, what we want to do.
Yeah. I mean, think about if you would have stayed at the life insurance company, if you would have stayed in the ICU, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Nope.
It's the choices of following all of our passions is really what led us here.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're a badass, man. I love this. This has been fantastic.
You're badass.
Guys, if you didn't get value from that, you didn't have the volume turned up loud enough. We'll talk to you next week.
This has been the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast. We want to thank you for listening and invite you to subscribe to the show as well. And follow Matt Lane Fitness on YouTube. Until next time, you don't have to be perfect. Just be better than yesterday every day.